Hey, what's up?
What's up, man? What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the atheist prompt. I wanted to run the Kalam. I'm really tired. I hope I can do this. So I'm just going to give it a shot. I think the Kalam is sound.
Okay.
Are you pretty familiar with it or?
Yeah.
So premise one, whatever begins to exist has a cause. Premise two, the universe began to exist. Conclusion, therefore, the universe has a cause. Uh, I take it you probably take issue with one of the premises or?
Well, that's not sufficient to prove God exists, but this is stage one of the Kalam, right? There's multiple stages.
Yeah, there's a stage two, but usually you get stuck in stage one.
Yeah,
But
I
we
don't
can.
accept premise two.
Okay. Is there a particular reason or?
Yeah, the concept of creation presupposes the concept of existence. So I don't think that the set of existing things um I don't think it makes sense to talk about creation independent of things creating things out of other things. So the idea that the universe is created, it's misapplying the concept of creation. Also,
Right. Well,
not only on like on a priori grounds, I think the premise is wrong, but I would just be interested to see how you would motivate premise two.
yeah. Well, premise two is that the universe began to exist.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what you said would deny that.
Because I'm
I
talking
mean,
about
the universe could have a beginning, but what you said was is
no,
kind of like
I don't think
peripheral
that.
to that. Okay, so you don't think the universe had a beginning?
No.
Okay. All right. I'll give you two reasons I think it had a beginning. There's philosophically, um, the past can't be infinite. If there's an infinite past, for the arrow of time to arrive to now, it would have to have completed an infinite amount of moments. Then there's also cosmological evidence. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm losing my voice. Um, the Big Bang doesn't decisively prove a beginning, but it's evidence that points towards a beginning. You also have entropy. That's evidence that points towards a beginning. And there's no evidence that points towards a past eternal universe at all. Like there's no empirical evidence that
Yeah.
points in the opposite direction.
What exactly is the contradiction with having a timeless past?
The P and not P is that an infinite amount of moments is just by definition incompletable. It'll never be exhausted. So, in order for the arrow of time to arrive to the present, it would have to have completed something that's incompletable. That's the P and not P.
Yeah, but do you understand that the concept of time is relational? Okay. And if the concept of time is relational, then it can't apply to just one thing because there needs to be two relata. So when you say the universe began to exist, what's the stand? What would be the unit of temporal measurement? In what way can the universe begin? Because the time, so time is monodirectional, right? And time flows, and you can measure time by relating entities changing, and you can use the changing of entities as a unit of measure. But if you're saying the universe began, this presupposes there's some kind of relationship that the universe can stand into something such that there's a temporal um, succession. But that doesn't make sense because definitionally there is nothing uh, changing prior to the universe beginning. This is why the concept of the universe beginning is incoherent. So, in what way is the universe able to begin? What would that mean?
Right. I think I'm having trouble understanding the objection. So you're saying the universe, in order for the universe to begin, it has to presuppose time. Is that sort of what you're
Yeah, I'll
saying?
put it this way. So, where is the universe?
Where is the universe? It
Or the question,
occupies. Yeah, it occupies. It just is
right? That doesn't make the
the
question doesn't make sense, right? If I ask you where is the universe, I'm asking for the location of the universe. But the concept of location presupposes relating existing things. So it doesn't make sense because it's relational. Similarly, if I asked when is the universe, you have the same problem. I can't say the universe is at this time because time is a phenomena within the universe, not the other way around. So when you take the concept of time and you say the universe began, it's a category error because the concept of time presupposes the universe.
right. I have to think through this. So you're saying, let me make sure I understand you correctly. Like you're saying that the universe cannot begin without presupposing space and time. because those kinds of things are necessarily spatial. Like
I'm just saying
beginnings are necessarily spatial
I'm saying beginnings
and
are necessarily
temporal.
temporal. Necessarily
What's
temporal.
that?
I'm just saying they're necessarily temporal. And I'm saying that the
Be
concept of time can't apply to the universe as a whole. It applies within the universe. It doesn't apply to the universe.
right. Well, I guess what I would say to kind of rescue this is you could have let's just posit God just for an example here. Let's say that God causes the universe. Um, we could posit that God's causal act is simultaneous with the instantiation of the universe. So the causal act itself occurs in the universe, and
Yeah, but
that's the
then what is the need for the existence of God if God is God eternal?
well. What I would say is that God exists timelessly, sans the universe, sans the
Yeah,
creation.
but yeah, but why believe that there's a timeless God as opposed to just believing there's a timeless universe if you have no problem accepting timeless things?
Well, because I think there's evidence that the universe hasn't always been around. Like I
Yeah,
also
but
gave cosmological evidence.
yeah, but before you get to the cosmological evidence, I just want to get clear on the philosophic point. Why there's no reason to believe that there's a timeless God on philosophic grounds any more than there's reason to believe that the universe is timeless.
Well, if well, this is that sort of begs the question. Like, if this argument's successful, then there is a reason to believe that there's a God outside of time.
Yeah, but the whole point is you're trying to say the universe began to exist, right?
Right. Well, let me ask you this, Divinity. Or is your name Liam?
Yeah.
No, there are
Cosmology
cosmological
is not
models
a
that posit a beginning.
philosophy. Cosmology is scientific. It's within metaphysics. It's within the universe, the study of things in the universe. Metaphysics is the study of the nature of the universe. So no,
No,
there's
cosmology is not. It's not metaphysics.
yeah,
It's
it's
science.
not metaphysics. I know. This is the point.
No, they don't make metaphysical claims. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I
I'm
know
just saying that.
cosmology is scientific. I know. That's what I'm saying. The beginninglessness of the universe is a philosophical issue. It's not a scientific issue.
Yeah, I'm just saying it. Well, I guess what I'm saying is, in principle, there are cosmological models that don't run into this contradiction you're positing.
When you say cosmological models are scientific, it's you're equivocating the domain. We're talking about metaphysics. Science is
Right.
irrelevant.
Okay. All right. Let's just grant your point. I'm just saying that that's just some evidence and that kind of undercuts our confidence in what you're saying. But let's just grant the point. I want to make sure I understand you correctly. So, what would need to happen for the universe? What are the necessary and sufficient conditions for the universe to have a beginning on the
I don't think the
philosophical
universe
grounds?
can have a beginning. I think it's impossible to speak that way.
And
That
what is the reason for that again?
because it's a category error to use the concept of time to apply to the universe because the concept of time is a relationship. And if the universe is by definition a totality,
Right. Well, let me pause you really quick right here so I can understand. What is the contradiction in saying time has a beginning?
time
Why is
is in
that
a
strictly contradictory?
time is a relationship.
Okay, but if it has a beginning, I'm what's
In
the
order for something
contradiction?
to begin, that means there has to be a flow of time such that it wasn't and then it was. If time had a beginning, it would presuppose temporal succession before time and after time. But there's a contradiction because you're presupposing temporal succession to say that time began.
Not No, not if you posit like simultaneous causation. Let's say
But
something
then it
caused
doesn't
time.
begin. But then it doesn't begin. Beginning is a temporal term.
Yeah,
You
simultaneous
can make,
causation.
but no, no. But simultaneity is not temporal. Okay, if you want to talk
Yeah, it
about
is.
hierarchical, if it's simultaneous, it's definitionally
That's a
not
temporal
temporal.
term. You're saying it's happening together. That's totally
But
temporal.
you're making a temporal measurement. This is the point. Like if you say simultaneous, right? You can talk whether or not there's a hierarchical structure to the universe, whether there's a causal structure to the universe that's hierarchical. You say the universe depends on God in a hierarchically causal way. That's fine. But when you say beginning, a beginning presupposes temporal succession. So time can't begin.
If time has a first moment, that's its beginning. What's the contradiction?
First, as opposed to what? First, as opposed to what?
I'm not even sure what first as opposed to what and what would
If
follow. I'm not
something
even sure what.
begins, this presupposes a contrast between being and non being. Beginning is a term, is a temporal term used to describe the existence of something at T2 that did not exist at T1. That's what begin means. So in order to say something begins,
Yeah, you could say,
but you're already presupposing temporal succession. So you cannot argue that temporal succession begins, because in arguing that it begins, you're already presupposing temporal succession prior to when you're saying it existed, which is a contradiction.
yeah, I don't think I agree with this, because we could posit a causal model, like where you could have a timeless God. He causes the universe, and at the moment he causes the universe, that's the instantiation of time right there. And
At
God
the
is
moment,
ontologically, well, hold on. God is ontologically prior to the universe.
that's not
So
temporal. Okay.
it doesn't
Argue.
have to be temporal. That's begging the question.
No. If it begins, that is temporal.
Yeah.
Beginning is temporal. Okay. And I've just laid out to you why time beginning, there's no such thing as pre-time. Understand that? And when you say something exists pre-time and then there was time, that's a contradiction. Okay. Again, you can make a hierarchical causal argument that there's a kind of dependency between the universe and some, entity. That's an argument you can make, but that's not the Kalam. The Kalam is an argument about temporal succession, and that the universe needs to be temporally succeeded by the existence of God, which is a contradiction.
No. That's not right. It's ontologically preceded by God, not temporally.
Everything
Time
that
has a first moment.
no, that doesn't work, because the argument is everything which begins to exist, not everything which exists. Beginning is temporal succession. The argument's based
Yeah, it
around,
just means it has a first moment.
yeah, but beginning I've already explained this to you. Beginning presupposes pre-time. Something can't begin if it always
No, it
was.
just no. That doesn't.
Can something
It,
begin if it always was?
a first moment does not precede. That
I have a
doesn't.
question. Can something begin if it always was?
No.
Right. Right.
Right, but I don't agree that time. I don't think you
So time
need
can't begin.
time in order to have a first moment
So
of
time
time.
can't begin.
I think it's a category error.
How can you say there's a moment in time if the thing you're saying there's a moment of
I'm saying
is
there's a
within
first moment of time. You
right?
don't need time for there to be a first moment of time.
What do you
It just has an edge.
when you're saying there's pre-time? When you say beginning, that presupposes there is pre-time. Pre
No,
and
I
post.
don't agree with that.
What does it mean
I don't
to
agree with that.
begin?
That there's a first moment.
What is it? The term
Is that
begin
is the
means first
idea?
moment?
Is the phrase?
The term begin means first
Is the
moment?
proposition there is a first moment
I just want to clarify.
self-contradictory?
What do you mean by begin?
That there is a first
That's
moment.
what the term begin means. When I say I woke
Yes.
up, I begun my day.
Yes, there was a first moment to your day.
The term okay, but
Is
this is
there a
not what the term
contradiction
begin.
in the
That's not that's oh, hold
proposition
on. I just want to
there is a first
hold
moment?
on. I'm
That's
re
self-contradictory?
hold on. I'm reorienting your semantics, which are idiosyncratic, from the way every English speaker uses the term beginning. When you say first moment, you're talking about you have a series of temporal events. The very first one. Okay. In order to say there is a first moment, you have to have a context to identify the temporal relationship that this moment has to other moments. Okay.
Yeah, the context is every preceding moment, or every moment afterward. That's the context.
So
This is the first in the series.
but when you say so, I just want to clarify. There
You
was
don't need
no.
anything before
I just
prior.
want
That
to
makes no
clarify.
sense.
I just want to clarify. There
Yeah.
was no moments prior to the universe existing.
No temporal moments, no.
Well, there was other non-temporal moments. Because
Well, we could
moment is
just
a
say,
temporal
I mean,
term.
yeah, moments are temporal, so no, there were no moments
So there are no
prior.
moments
Yep.
prior to the universe.
Yep.
So within time, the universe has always existed.
Yeah, trivially, the
So the
universe has
universe,
existed at
so the
every
universe,
temporal point.
so the universe is eternal.
No, no, no. What you're saying is
Eternal means the
it's
universe has
trivial
always existed.
temporally,
There's
but that doesn't
not a
mean
way. Yes, eternally. This is the point. The universe has always existed.
Yeah, at every temporal moment, the universe has existed. But
Right. So the universe is eternal.
but temporality, the temporal chain itself has not always existed.
Well, when you say the temporal chain hasn't always existed, this presupposes there's a moment prior to the temporal
No,
chain.
it just means that there's a first moment of the temporal chain.
The
There's no
first moment of the
contradiction in that.
temporal chain is contained within the chain. It would follow that time exists if there's a first moment, because moment is temporal. We already agreed on this.
Yeah, I'm not sure what, I think everything I said is consistent. Like, there's a first moment of the temporal chain, and the temporal chain exists at every moment of the temporal chain.
Yeah.
But there's still a first moment.
Which exists in the temporal chain.
Yeah, it's the first moment of the temporal chain.
Right. So the universe has always existed, and there was never a time before the universe in which there was no universe.
The universe has always existed. It's always existed temporally.
Something can't exist non-temporally.
Yes, it can. God can exist timelessly.
Right. In the same
Things
way the
can
universe can
exist.
exist.
Abstract objects exist timelessly.
Define timeless.
It undergoes no change. There's no change at all.
Well, so
I mean,
if
like roughly
God,
speaking.
okay, so it doesn't undergo change at all. The universe has always existed. So the fact that the universe has always
No,
existed
it
is
depends what you
timeless.
mean by always. If you mean it's always existed temporally,
What the
trivially,
fuck else
sure, we can agree.
what else does always refer to if not time? There's no sense of the term always that's non-temporal. It has always existed in time, because that's what always means. The universe has always existed. This is why the concept of beginning is ridiculous. Observe, I didn't
Yeah, I
say the
think there.
universe. I didn't say the universe was infinite. My view is not that the universe is infinite. My view is that the universe is beginningless. It doesn't begin.
Well, how would that follow if it's not infinite, but it's also beginningless? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, what do you mean it's not infinite? There's
It's
not
the
an
same
infinite
way in
amount
which
of
if I
past
asked,
moments.
it's the same way. Look, if I asked you, well, yeah, there's a finite amount of past moments.
Okay, so you grant premise two.
Premise two is not there's finite past. Premise two is that the
Yeah,
universe
yes, it is.
began.
Premise two is definitely finite
No,
past,
premise two is that the universe began to exist.
which means it has a finite
That
past.
doesn't follow, because we just established that the universe has
Well, if it
always
had no
existed.
beginning, it would. I'm not even sure how that.
Are you joking?
Premise two. Premise two
If something
affirms
has
that the
always
universe is.
look, if something has always existed, it cannot come into being. Its being has always been.
Yeah, and you're indexing always to like temporal.
There's
Like
no other way to index always.
yeah. Well, then maybe there's. I think this is just we're just like running into semantics here. I think there's other ways you can express something existing timelessly. Like we could say that God has existed timelessly and the universe still has a beginning, but
The
God does not
universe
have a
exists.
beginning.
The universe
So in
exists
some
timelessly.
sense, God has always existed.
If you mean there's no other sense of the term always than temporally, I just don't understand what your point is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there is.
I mean,
I just,
if you could tell me, I'll
yeah,
entertain it.
I'm reaching for a word now and I can't think of a way to. I agree with you that the word always connotes temporality, but I think there are other ways to parse out existence that is non-temporal, that's outside of time. Like God, for example. We could say God is eternal, and sometimes people parse this out by saying that he's timeless, and that's sort of how you ground his eternality. And so it's kind of it's not temporal. It's a different mode of existence.
Yeah, I mean, I think the universe
But
is.
there's no beginning, but there's also no temporality either.
I mean, I think the universe is timeless. So
But it's fine. It's past finite.
that's fine. Yeah.
How is it timeless?
Because the
When did
universe
it
as a
ever not
whole,
undergo
because the
change?
universe as a whole, they're not
It
temporal
always
relationship.
undergoes change. When at what point did it not undergo
Understand.
change?
Understand this. The universe as a whole right? The concept of time doesn't apply to the universe as a whole. The concept of time can apply to particular things in the universe. Okay, so when you measure time, you can relate me to past things. But when you say the universe began,
What is the universe? What is it?
it's the set of all things.
The set of all, is there change happening in that set?
There are things in the set that change,
Yeah. Okay, so time is occurring.
but the time. Okay, when you say time occurs, change and time are different.
Yeah, well, I mean, change occurs in that set.
Yeah,
And time is typically viewed as the measure of change.
but it's a
So how could
relationship.
the universe, if there's always change within the set, be impervious to time? It's timeless.
Because when is the universe? What would be the temporal unit to measure the existence of the universe? There's nothing, because time is relative. It can't apply. You have to have two relata to have time. If you have the universe, by definition, there is no relata to relate it to.
Yeah, something seems really fishy about that. Because even like cosmology, like time is a dimension. Like the universe has that dimension. And you're saying, no, the universe is timeless. And I'm like, that seems idiosyncratic to me. It seems very idiosyncratic to me. Because I've never heard like any sort of formal view of the universe being timeless. I've never heard that.
I mean, eternalism is this view.
Plurality on B theory. It's just not
Mm-hmm.
coming in and out of being.
Yeah, but the whole point
It's
is
like
that
all moments are
observe
actual. There's
observe that.
change though.
Well, B
B
theory.
theory does not deny that there's change. Like it doesn't deny like causality, doesn't deny
I'm
change.
not denying causality or change
Okay, then there's time.
within the
It's just
universe.
it's not tenseless.
I'm agreeing with time within the universe. Also,
I mean, it's not tense. I'm sorry, it's not tense.
there's the distinction between B theory and eternalism. B theory is a semantic theory, and eternalism is metaphysical.
Well, I mean, aren't they pretty much the same thing? What's the distinction?
B
Like
theory
they
is
both
B
deny
theory.
that they both deny tense facts, correct?
Eternalism?
Yeah.
No,
No, eternalism just is B theory.
no. B theory is a semantic theory about temporal language, right? Whereas eternalism is a metaphysical theory
That says what?
that the universe is eternal.
No, that's not what eternalism is.
That is in fact what it
No.
that's where its
Can you
name
Google
comes from.
that? Can you Google that really quick?
I know that. I already know this.
No, that is not. No.
Look, let me
No.
give you. Okay, I'll actually give you
That's not what
something.
eternalism means.
I'm gonna help you out. Okay, so look,
It's a misnomer.
here
Yeah.
is the most popular, incredible book on the philosophy of time. Okay, if you go on Google right now and you look up contemporary works in the philosophy of time, it is this book. And this book, I'm telling you right now,
Okay.
that is what
Hey,
eternalism is.
I'm not trying to be incorrigible. I'm open to correction. Turn to the page where it defines eternalism.
Bro, genuinely, you can use Snapchat and figure this out.
Yeah, I just read about this like within the last few weeks.
Okay, I'm telling you right now, eternalism is a metaphysical theory.
It is basically it's basically B theory.
It's not basically B theory.
It doesn't mean the universe has always existed.
B theory is not ontologically committing. Eternalism is.
Okay, well, flip to the page that says that. Just one line, and I'll stand corrected. I honestly will. I honestly will.
Literally, just go to Google, bro.
I'll Google it right now. Give me 1 second.
You're gonna find out that it's a theory. It doesn't ontologically privilege the past, present, or future because the universe is eternal. There's a block called the block universe, and that's
all consistent with B theory.
I didn't say they were inconsistent. Holy shit! You must be kidding.
Okay, hold on.
You must be joking right now. I didn't say it was inconsistent. They're just not the same thing.
This is Copilot. I don't know how accurate this is, but it says eternalism is a metaphysical view regarding the nature of time. It asserts that all events, past, present, and future, exist equally and are real. Consistent with B theory. Exactly what B theory says. All right, I'm looking for the distinction. I'm looking for the distinction. This perspective treats temporal locations similarly to spatial locations. Consistent with B theory. Meaning that just as all places exist, so do all times. Consistent with B theory. I'm looking for the difference. In eternalism, the concept of now is considered indexical.
What is B theory?
Meaning it is relative to the observer's perspective.
What is B theory?
Consistent with B theory.
What is B theory a theory of?
Time.
No, it's not a theory of time. It's a theory of what? What about time?
It says that time is tenseless. All moments are equally real.
No, listen. B theory is a theory about the meaning of temporal statements. It's a semantic theory. Eternalism is a metaphysical theory. It's a metaphysical theory that is often used in conjunction with B theory, the semantic theory.
Okay, what I just read, did you disagree with anything I read?
No.
That I just read to you? Okay, all of that B theory posits.
But no.
They posit the same thing.
No, actually. B theory does not. B theory
they posit that past, present, and future are all equally real. You deny that B theory
doesn't
posits
posit that. B theory doesn't posit
B theory does not posit that all moments are equally real. It does not posit that?
No, eternalism posits that.
B theory does not posit that?
No, B theory is just a semantic theory.
That says what?
That says that temporal utterances are not tense.
It says nothing else.
Yeah, it's just that.
Okay, when it says that they're not tense, what is it saying? What's the contra of not tense?
It's saying that the meaning not being tense. What do you mean? The contra of being not tense is tensed?
Yeah, if they're not tense, what else would they be?
Tensed?
No, B theory is saying that they're not tensed.
Yeah, you said what are they if they're not tensed? I said tensed.
No, B theory does I think I misunderstood what you or misheard what you said. B theory denies tense.
Yep, B theory says that the meaning of temporal statements is non-tensed. It's relative to a coordinate in a space-time block.
Okay, here's the same Google search. I'm just reading the same thing. B theory of time, also known as the tenseless theory of time, aka semantic, posits that the flow of time is an illusion that all moments of time are equally real. That's just what eternalism says.
It's okay. Look, it's a semantic theory. It literally told you it was a semantic theory.
Here, I mean, you told me that. I'm just saying I'm looking for the distinction. One is
semantics, one's metaphysical. Like, what are you?
Okay, but they posit the same thing in reality.
The semantic theory doesn't posit anything metaphysically. It's a semantic theory.
All right, hold on a second. Why can't I pull this up?
I'm sorry, bro. I really think our conversation's hit its and I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah.